Serie A recap show. I know I promised it to you guys, but I've been inconsistent because of the Champions League and everything. Like, I think this is the second time we do it. But mamma mia, have you guys ever bought something and then looked in the mirror and thought, I made a big mistake buying this, and bro, I look like fucking Mario. Like, you know Mario, the dude that goes around chasing mushrooms and shit. Oh my lord, a red cap on me, it does not look good. It does not look good, but it is what it is. Let's get into the video. Serie A recap game week 6. We had big games. We had last minute winners. We had statement performances. Let's start off with the champions, Napoli. I feel like I don't really cover Napoli that much on this channel. Like, I really need to find a balance. And covering all of the big teams. But Napoli have beaten Genoa 2-1. Rasmus Højlund with the game-winning goal. What do we make of it? Napoli fans, what do we make of Conte? What do we make of this system that has all of your midfielders and some playing out of position? Napoli, they're winning games. Yeah, they're winning games, but you can't turn around and say they look good. You really, really, really can't. I feel like where Napoli are most lacking is that creative spark out wide. There's a reason why when somebody like Spinazzola is on the pitch, you see it. He's dynamic. Like, Spinazzola is in his 30s, yet he truly looks like an up-and-coming 20-year-old. When he doesn't start, when he comes onto the pitch, when he does start, it's like he's their main threat. And it's mainly because all of their on-paper creative players all love to tuck inside. Scott McTominay off the ball, he plays on the left-hand side. But as soon as Napoli have the ball, he plays inwards. Like, Napoli have got so many threats down the centre, but they don't have any threats out wide. And I feel like I'm assuming Napoli fans are looking at Conte and thinking, listen, you've got Noah Lang, which was signed for a lot of money. I don't think he started a single Serie A game. He's just doing cameos off the bench. You've got Neres, who's coming off the bench. He started this week. But I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, I look at Conte, I look at Napoli, and like I mentioned about Roma the other day, I'm a firm believer in a good team wins. A good team wins even if they don't perform well. But there's going to come a period when those bad performances, when that lack of penetration bites you in the arse. I don't know. At the moment, they're winning. At the moment, they're grinding out results. At the moment, you could see Conte, why he wanted somebody like Rasmus Højlund. Like, Rasmus Højlund, for me, is a player that had shown no promise, no quality, like no potential during his time in the Premier League. I was actually so surprised to see Napoli wanted him. But you could see he's walked in, he's brought physicality down the centre, he's brought that running power. And with somebody like KDB constantly feeding him, constantly playing the ball over the top, he's got the physicality to run onto it. And you could see confidence is on his side, probably for the first time in his career, ever since he left Atalanta. Okay, but Napoli for me, like, I just feel like the best of teams, they have that spark in the centre and out wide. Napoli for me, their spark in the centre, but that spark in the centre is now reliant on players out wide to provide them with opportunities. And I'm just not seeing it. Like, I actually feel like maybe, just maybe, in some period of the season, Conte might move away from this whole fitting Lobotka and Gisa, McTominay, De Bruyne all into the team. I feel like he genuinely might drop one of them to the bench. Yes, it's a tough conversation to have. He might drop one of them to the bench just for the sake of giving the team a bit more of a spark in wide areas. But they beat Genoa. I feel like Genoa put up a good contest, but this Napoli team has a lot of goal scorers. They have a lot of match winners, and eventually they got the result. Now, the next game, the big game of the weekend, Juve versus Milan, 0-0. I made myself about a 16-minute match review. If I wanted to summarize it for anybody that hasn't had the opportunity to watch that video, maybe you're just not bothered to watch a 16-minute video. I feel like Milan take a lot of positives out of that game. Juve don't. And the problem is with Juve, it's the same question marks that people were asking in pre-season. It's the same questions that people were asking first game of the season against Parma, against Genoa, where Juve won, but you can still win and ask questions of that performance, of that victory. The problem is, Juve were winning. When you win, you paper over the cracks. When you don't win and people begin to ask the same question from game week 1 into game week 2, into game week 3, into game week 4, that's when you've got a reoccurring problem. And I'd be a liar if I told you guys, game week 7, Juve will find a solution to these reoccurring problems. I mainly now look at Tudor. I look at Tudor and I say, listen, the transfer market is not open. You can't dive into it and now sign a centre-back, sign a midfielder. No, you have to make it work with what you have. And I'll be real, I've seen so many coaches make it work with far far less talented squads with far less experience in the game. Tudor, for me, I think he really needs to move away from this 3-4-2-1. Like, he needs to stop being stubborn. I'll be real. In my opinion, stubborn coaches, like stubbornness when it comes to coaching, is the biggest route to your downfall. It's the biggest route to your downfall. If you're stubborn and you're getting results and there's growth, everybody will stick by you, even if they don't agree. But at the moment, I feel like you look left, move away from the 3-4-3. You look right, move away from the 3-4-3. You look forwards, two-man midfield doesn't work. You look backwards, the back three doesn't work. Like, Tudor, after the international break, really needs to sit down, or probably during the international break, he really needs to sit down and see where it's working and where it isn't working and find a way to paper over the crack. When it comes to Milan, you wouldn't say it was one of their best performances in comparison to what we've seen so far in the Serie A. I feel like star man Christian Pulisic, he wasn't as involved, and when the opportunity was there to earn his bread and butter, to be the game decider, to be the game changer, he missed his penalty, which happens. I don't feel like he was as involved. Rafa Leao, I've seen from you guys' comments, has come under a lot of criticism. I've seen a clip of Allegri when he was telling him to warm up, like, Rafa, don't piss me off. Don't piss me off. I think what it is, it's that whole nonchalant approach. And I don't think Allegri meant don't piss me off with your performances on the pitch. I just think Leao was one of those players where when you tell him, go warm up, get ready to come on, it's like everything is in slow motion. Like, he's taking his time, taking his top off. He's taking his time, putting his socks on. He's taking his time to put on his boots. He's just a very nonchalant, relaxed type of player. And for somebody like Allegri that wants fighters, he wants warriors, Leao is not really that type of guy in terms of personality, okay? In terms of personality. I'm not talking about in terms of ability, but the facts are, for somebody that's hardly played, like I saw Allegri where he said Leao's been out for roughly about 45 days. Listen, the positive is he came onto the pitch for half an hour and he got himself two opportunities, like two goal-scoring opportunities. Like, Leao, for me, no football, and he walks in and he gets himself two opportunities from the jump. It's a positive, because on another day, everybody looks at him and says, he's the superhero, he's the super sub, he's the guy that came off the bench and won the game. You could see he's rusty. You could see it in his first touch. You could see it in his finishing. You could see it in his passing. Like, he's not as smooth and fluid as he was in preseason when he was playing game after game after game, training every single day. But I feel like it's definitely a performance that sends positive shockwaves into Milan, and it probably sends very negative shockwaves in Turin. After that, we've got Inter against Cremonese. I'm going to be real. Every time I watch Inter, I'm surprised more and more and more. Like, I will be real, I wasn't too familiar with Chivu. Like, yeah, I saw Chivu at Parma. I never ever expected him to make the jump into Inter. Like, I never ever even thought, like, I actually thought, listen, let's see how Chivu does with Parma the following season. The fact that he managed, 10 games and straight away made the jump into Inter. Like, he seized the opportunity. And I feel like at the moment, he's telling everybody, this is why you should have trusted me. And this is why I am probably the guy to steer the ship in the right direction. I just look at Inter as much, regardless of the opposition. I don't like to focus on opposition. I just look at the style of play, and I really, really, really think, like, as much as people thought Inzaghi revolutionized them, which he did, as much as people looked at Inzaghi and said that play style got them to 2 Champions League finals, it won them a Scudetto, it won them a Coppa Italia, it got them within touching distance of a Champions League. Like, everybody hailed that style of play that Inzaghi implemented at Inter. I'm looking at Chivu and I'm thinking, if you can keep this up, like, just playing without the handbrake has made so many of these players look 100 times better, like 100 times better. And you know what it is? I feel like it's just because he's walked in and his ideology focuses on playing on the front foot, playing very vertical, in comparison to Inzaghi's, where his ethos was more sit back, wait on an opportunity, and then try and play around the opposition. Like, Chivu is going out there with the intentions of, we are going to outscore you. That is what we're going to do. I don't care if we win 3-2, 5-4, 10-9. I don't care. We are going to outscore you, and I'm going to maximize the ability of all of my attackers. So my team is focused on my attackers. You think Bonnie, you think Bonnie walking into a team, his first start, it's easy for him to get himself 4 goal contributions? No. But when you walk into a team that plays on the front foot, that will constantly feed you the ball in the attacking areas, you will get numbers if you are a good player. And that's where I look at Chivu and I say, listen, like, I've got videos. You guys can get receipts on me. I wasn't really too keen on this appointment. Like, it was an appointment that genuinely made me laugh. It was genuinely an appointment that I looked at and said, you wouldn't survive till 2026. But boy, oh boy, at the moment, like, I'm impressed. Like, every time I watch them, I'm like, this is good. Like, this is genuinely good. The press is good. It's structured. Off the ball, you're aggressive. Fair enough, the high line will always be a problem, but I feel like there's not many teams in the Serie A that can punish the high line. Like Udinese, yes, they punish them. But you could seriously make a case Inter could have won that game. Juve punished them, yes, but even on another day, you could make a case Inter could have won that game. Inter look good, I'll be real. Like, as crazy as it may sound, I'm very close to saying Inter at the moment probably play the best brand of football offensively. As much as I am impressed by Milan and what they can do offensively, as much as I'm impressed by what Como can do offensively, I think at the moment, Inter system is the most productive. It's more productive than Como's. As much as Como's might be more fluid on the eye, it's more productive than Como's. It's more productive than Roma's. It's more productive than Tudor's Juve. It's definitely more productive than Allegri's Milan. At the end of the day, productivity is what wins you games. And there's a reason why these dudes are scoring a shit ton of goals. Like, Inter is definitely a team to keep an eye on. And I feel like they're going about their business behind the scenes. Everybody is focusing on Juve. Everybody's focusing on Milan. Everybody's like brushed them off and said this is going to be a transitional year. Like, I predicted an internal civil war at Inter. But at the moment, they're just playing game after game after game. They're winning. They're getting better. They're beginning to click game after game after the game. Like, I'll be real. Like, just being as objective as possible, I actually like what I'm seeing from Inter, and especially from Chivu. After that, we got Fiorentina Roma. First time they win in about 4 or 5 years in Florence. I made a video on it. I'm really trying to dive into a bit more Roma content. Roma are winning, but they don't look good, if you know what I mean. Like, they're winning. They don't look good. They look good defensively. Like, I don't think they're as troubled, but I'm just looking at them and I'm thinking, if you guys can keep winning and not playing amazing, what can you guys truly do once Gasperini has fully implemented the system? Once Gasperini just takes you guys from second gear into third gear. Like, Gasperini, for me, and this is an opinion that I've had probably over the past decade, is the best coach in the world at generating productivity. What this dude done with Atalanta, the amount of goals Atalanta were scoring in games, the amount of opportunities they were creating, the amount of shots that they were having, it all comes down to his system, because he was genuinely working wonders with players that were deemed as outcasts at their previous clubs. And I'm looking at it now and I'm thinking, you've actually got yourself better players now. Like, once you take Soulé from second gear into third, into fourth gear, wow. Evan Ferguson, like, imagine he could reignite that spark, and somebody like Dovbyk, who scored, 22, 23 goals at Girona. Dybala, like, we've all seen what Dybala can do under a good coach and a bad coach. Like, Roma, for me, they're winning, but they're not playing great. But I feel like eventually, game after game after game, you're going to see them start creeping into third gear, into fourth gear, into fifth gear. They're definitely a team to keep an eye on. And the game against Inter will truly be the biggest test of, one, what Inter can do against the team, which, in my opinion, is very good defensively, which is Roma's. And what Inter and what Roma can do against the team where they do have a high line that you can punish. Like, that's actually a game that I'm really looking forward to after the international break. Let's wrap it up with Atalanta Como. Atalanta Como 1-1. Como, as crazy as it may sound, is like the team that I looked at in the summer and I said they might seriously break into like the European sports. Fabregas, Nico Paz. Wow. Like, just in general, because I haven't done this recap in so long, Nico Paz, wow. Like, I feel like in the summer, it's going to be a mission for Como to retain him. Regardless of how good their project is, teams are going to pay serious cash for him, because this kid, in 12 months' time, will be far more developed, far more experienced, far better coached under somebody like Fabregas. Like, he's already shown, give me the keys and I will stir the ship in the right direction. Como, for me, I feel like their biggest problem so far this season is when they score, they can't capitalize and make it 2 and make it 3 and make it 4. And I feel like their system is so front heavy, but defensively, you can get the beating of them. They do make mistakes. They do like to push the entire team in the opposition half. So the opposition always have the opportunity to counter them when they're outnumbered at the back. Atalanta, Juric, it looks like I might be wrong. Because, no, I'm not wrong. I predicted Juric to be sacked by Halloween. Halloween is in about 3 weeks. I think he survives. He's very lucky because 2 out of those 3 weeks is the international break. But I feel like at the moment, Atalanta have good players. I'll be honest with you guys. Like, Atalanta actually have some good players. Kristovic, that they signed. Samardzic, I love Samardzic. Samardzic is actually one of my favorite Serie A players. He's now back into the team. You've got the Skamakas. I feel like eventually he will integrate somebody like Lukman. He's got CDK. I think at the moment, Juric is just benefiting from having great players that are practically playing of like Gasparini's system. Like, I don't think Juric has walked in and actually transformed them tactically. They're just still playing off Gasparini's way because that's how they're programmed to way. They're programmed to play. But because they're good, they're reaping the results at the moment. That game ended 1-1. Pioli, touching on him real briefly, I would be shocked if he makes it into 2026. Pioli for me is out. He's struggling to get the best out of their best player, which is Moise Kean. When you struggle to get the best out of your best asset, your name will automatically get onto the chopping board. I feel like Kean scored an amazing goal, but it's such a shame that he's playing in a system that generates no productivity. Vincenzo Italiano, he won 4-0, I believe, against Pisa. Easy game for Bologna. Pisa went down to 10 men. They just went random ragged. They've had a slow start to the season, but now they're beginning to win some games. Who else have I missed out? Lazio, they drew 3-3, I believe, with Torino. Lazio, it's an up and down season. Good in some moments, very questionable in others. I don't look at the players and think they could do what Sarri wants. And maybe, just maybe, Sarri will now have to tweak things up. But listen, the fact that they can score 3 goals, it tells you that offensively, they're doing something right. And that's the Serie A recap. I'll try and make it a bit more organized next time. But that is the Serie A recap. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and I will catch you guys on another one.